Challenger DS, a British main battle tank concept for a changing battlefield. The Challenger DS represents a lesser-known but important concept in the evolution of British armored vehicles. Unlike tanks designed for immediate frontline service, the Challenger DS was created as a demonstration platform. Its purpose was to explore how the proven Challenger family could adapt to the changing demands of modern warfare. Rather than replacing existing tanks, it offered a vision of what future British armored forces might require. The concept emerged at a time when the role of the main battle tank was being questioned. The Cold War had ended, and large-scale armored clashes in Europe seemed less likely. At the same time, new threats were becoming increasingly dangerous. Precision-guided weapons, advanced anti-tank missiles, improved surveillance systems, and later unmanned aerial vehicles changed how tanks were detected and destroyed. Protection alone was no longer enough. Awareness, coordination, and flexibility became just as important. The Challenger heritage, British tank design, has long emphasized crew protection and long-range firepower. Challenger 1 entered service during the later years of the Cold War and was followed by Challenger 2, which introduced improved armor, fire control, and reliability. Challenger 2 earned a strong reputation for survivability during combat operations in the Middle East, reinforcing confidence in the platform. Despite these strengths, Challenger 2 was still a product of its time. As other nations introduced new tanks with digital systems and modular designs, it became clear that further evolution would be necessary to remain competitive. Budget constraints and changing defense priorities made a completely new tank program difficult to justify. The Challenger DS concept emerged as a way to explore modernization without committing to full-scale production. Purpose of the Challenger DS. The Challenger DS, often interpreted as demonstration system, was designed to serve multiple purposes. For industry, it provided a platform to test new technologies and design ideas. For military planners, it offered insight into future requirements. For potential export customers, it demonstrated how a well-known and trusted tank design could be adapted to modern standards. Because it was not an operational vehicle, the Challenger DS was not bound by existing military requirements. This allowed designers to experiment with different layouts, protection schemes, and electronic systems. The focus was on adaptability rather than immediate deployment. Design philosophy. The design philosophy behind the Challenger DS centered on survivability in a complex threat environment. Instead of relying solely on heavy passive armor, the concept emphasized layered protection. This included modular armor packages, the potential integration of active protection systems, and improved situational awareness to reduce the risk of surprise attacks. The Challenger DS also reflected a shift toward networked warfare. Tanks were increasingly expected to operate as part of a larger system, sharing information with infantry, reconnaissance units, and other assets. This approach aimed to improve coordination and decision-making across the battlefield. Protection and survivability. Protection was a major focus of the Challenger DS concept. Modular armor allowed the vehicle to be configured for different mission profiles, balancing protection and mobility. In high-threat environments, additional armor could be fitted, while lighter configurations could be used where speed and endurance were more important. The concept also explored how active protection systems might be integrated. These systems are designed to detect and intercept incoming anti-tank weapons before they strike the vehicle. While not all versions of the Challenger DS featured such systems, the concept demonstrated how they could become part of future British tank designs. Crew survivability extended beyond armor. Internal layout improvements, ammunition storage considerations, and advanced fire suppression systems were part of a comprehensive approach to protecting the crew and increasing the chances of survival if the tank was hit. Firepower and sensors. Firepower remained a key element of the Challenger DS. The concept retained the emphasis on accurate long-range engagement that has characterized British tank doctrine. Advanced optics, including thermal imaging and day sights, allowed the crew to detect and identify targets in a wide range of conditions. Modern fire control systems reduced engagement times and improved accuracy. By integrating sensors and digital systems, the Challenger DS aimed to allow the crew to detect threats faster and respond more effectively. Secondary weapons and remote weapon stations improved the tank's ability to defend itself against close-range threats without exposing the crew. Mobility and crew effectiveness. Mobility was another important consideration. Advances in engine and suspension technology offered opportunities to improve acceleration, handling, and reliability. A more stable firing platform allowed the tank to engage targets while moving, reducing exposure to enemy fire. Crew effectiveness was enhanced through improved ergonomics and automation. Digital displays and intuitive controls reduced workload and fatigue, allowing the crew to focus on tactical decision-making. In modern combat, where information overload is a constant risk, these improvements were critical. Relevance and legacy. Although the Challenger DS never entered mass production, its importance lies in the ideas it explored. Many of the concepts behind the design align closely with lessons learned from recent conflicts. Situational awareness, network integration, and layered protection have become essential for modern armored vehicles. The Challenger DS represents a transitional moment in British armored development. It bridged the gap between Cold War-era tanks and the requirements of modern warfare. Even as a concept, it contributed to discussions about how tanks must evolve to remain relevant. Conclusion. The Challenger DS was not designed to dominate the battlefield on its own. It was a demonstration of how a proven platform could adapt to new challenges. By combining traditional strengths with modern technologies, it offered a glimpse into the future of British main battle tank design. While it remains a concept rather than a frontline vehicle, the Challenger DS highlights an enduring truth of armored warfare. Tanks that fail to adapt risk becoming obsolete. Those that evolve, even through experimentation, remain relevant in an ever-changing battlefield.